Have you ever felt unseen, unnoticed, or uncertain of your identity? Have you ever wondered why? These are a few sun problems. In this episode on the sun, problems and remedies, we will talk about these problems, why they occur, and remedies to address them. Before we begin, take a look at your natal sun. What are its sign, house, and aspects? Are there any problems associated with your natal sun? First, let's look at a list of problems related to the sun. Maybe these apply to your chart or the chart of a friend or family member or a client. What happens when a person has a sun that is too strong? For instance, this could present as narcissism, self-aggrandizement, or an overinflated ego, overabundance of self-focused energies, sun in the first house, sun in Leo conjunct Jupiter, etc. Now, what about when there's an underexpressed sun, such as the sun in the 12th house or a sun conjunct Saturn? This could show up as being painfully shy or reclusive, lack of fashion sense or a very simplistic style, self-deprecating behaviors, lack of vibrance. Now, have you ever known someone with a chaotic sun? Sun square Uranus, unaspected sun in the first house? These people are constantly changing their identity, maybe depending on the transit or influence of other people in their life. We see changes to the dress and style, changes to their interests and hobbies, worry over the identity, anxiety over how they are seen. Now another one, how about highly agitated suns? Sun conjunct Mars, possibly sun in Aries. This can look like sensory issues, being easily overstimulated by sounds or lights, short temper, poor impulse control. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, self, we have problems. Now, what are the solutions? And I'm here to tell you that. Now, you know that astrological remediation is rad. So like this video and subscribe to learn all there is to know about the study. Doing so helps the channel grow, which helps your Aunt Sally, who knows a little astrology, find the video and maybe stop bugging you so much. Now, to get into remedies, we first want to ask ourselves, what are the sun needs? Well, the sun needs to exist. It needs to be recognized, form an identity, be productive, form an outer identification, engage the senses. The sun needs to shine and be seen. At the core of the sun remedies is to meet these needs in a positive way. Being holed up in a room is not good for any of these things. One of the best ways to heal a sun problem is to express oneself. Quick disclaimer, these remedies are presented for educational purposes only. I have to refer you, just like you have to refer your clients, to properly licensed medical and/or psychological practitioners for diagnosis and advice. Alright, enough of that. Now let's start with the general solutions here. Number 1. Narcissism, self-aggrandizement, and a big ego, and too much focus on the self. Okay, what if we have one of these problems? Well, you can care very closely to the physical form. This kind of soul naturally wants to look and feel good. These people can also get their hair and nails done, wear bling, or even get plastic surgery. One example of this is Justin Jedlicka, the human Ken. He has a Sun North Node conjunction in Leo. The North Node expands whatever it touches. Alright, we can also keep the physical body well cleaned and manicured. Dress really well. Spend time on your wardrobe and branding. Make a character of yourself, depending on the sign, house, and aspects, of course. And recognize and define your own identity. You can do this through journaling, self-reflection, and meditation. You'll notice that a lot of these remedies are actually to treat the sun really well. If we think we're a narcissist, we might as well be good to ourselves. We might as well make a good representation of ourselves. Alright, now how do other people play into this? What if we have a strong sun and people call you a narcissist or say you have delusions of grandeur? Now, it's important to actually be held by someone who loves you, and your body, and your identity. We want to find a partner who has good synastry with our sun. Now, if someone had Saturn on our sun and we were having a moment of loving ourselves, they would have a moment of thinking, that's too much. I don't know about that. We probably don't want a Saturn on our sun. We don't want somebody to squash us. Now, if someone had Jupiter on our sun, when we were in a good mood about ourselves, they would also be in a good mood about that as well. That is what we want. This makes a person with a good sun look even better. Now, we also need someone who agrees that you are awesome. We don't want someone to be deflated by your expression. All right, we don't want a chart that makes a person feel bad for feeling so good. Okay, now what is the next sun problem? Well, being painfully shy and reclusive. What's wrong with this anyway? Well, underexpression, being blocked and stifled from experiences, means that the world doesn't even see you. Now, ideas to aid with this. Grow a humility identity and move forward in all things. It's okay to be humble. It's not okay to be invisible. Work for 12th house issues, for instance. Be a consciousness worker, a psychological restructurer. Deal with inward tasks and be a total boss doing it. Develop an identity around such humble work. Now, what if the Sun-Saturn conjunction is causing this? Become a refined version of your sun sign. Be the best dentist, the best doctor, the best caregiver, the best mother. For example, if we have a Sun-Saturn conjunction in Cancer, perhaps you run a whole daycare. If you have a Sun-Saturn conjunction in Gemini, you could be a highly skilled editor and writer. Now let's look at Sun-Saturn conjunction in Virgo. You could be the best union organizer or surgical advocate. Now, how do I know this? Because there is one in history. His name is Leslie Feinberg. He wrote the wonderful book called Stone Butch Blues, and he changed history forever. He was a trans person who became a surgical advocate. His Sun-Saturn conjunction would constantly critique himself and then have surgery to make himself better. He did this throughout the whole book, and he became better and better and better and better and liked himself more and more and more throughout the whole book. That is Sun-Saturn at work. It's like chiseling out an identity. Now, he also did a lot of great work with union organizing and things beyond the body. His brand as a human went beyond the physical body and worked for all of mankind. Now, that is a beautiful use of a Sun-Saturn conjunction. Now, let's look at lack of fashion sense or a very simplistic style, the inability to dress yourself well. This person could take a study of the brand, the self, the sign, the role. They could actually design a wardrobe. You need to take the time on this, like a total Leo would do. Be just like Justin Jedlicka about it and design the you that you want to be. Moreover, you could go shopping on transits to something good in the chart. Venus or Jupiter transits. Transits to the 2nd or 5th house. Taurus transits. Make sure to define the current identity before trying wardrobe considerations. Identity is a sun thing. We have to refine that before we know what we want to look like. Okay, let's take another issue. Self-deprecating behaviors. Now this one, we see a person who wants to improve themselves, actually. Okay, we can read self-help books. Always be getting better. Make lists of character defects and positive attributes, with always one more positive thing. We must let humble souls analyze how they could be better. Now, another one would be affirmations or fake it till you make it. A personal favorite is, instead of making a self-deprecating joke, make a fake narcissism joke about how amazing you are. Okay, I know. Isn't being humble a good thing? It is good for some things, but not good for others, and certainly not good for everything. Being too humble means we go unrecognized. When we're too humble, we might be overlooked for promotions at work. We might not get the person we're interested in. Now let's tackle one last problem, lack of vibrance. Vibrance means being full of life or energy, and lack of it can come through a weak sun in the natal chart. There's just not enough chi flowing out through the aura and chakras. What are some remedies to this? Add in some chi. add in some sun. The first way to do this is to go tanning. I know, this is controversial, but it does fill the person up with some vitamin D and some energy. In fact, try going tanning once. See if it makes your sun feel a little better. Here's another controversial one, sun gazing. A yogi taught me this one while I was on an astrology tour. Stare right into the sun, but only for 10 to 15 seconds. Look it up online, you'll see. But one thing I know is that when you stare into the sun for 10 seconds, chi goes right down your eye and right down your spine and comes right out your chakras. It is a way to take in more sun energy. Qigong outside in the sunlight. That one's a little more tame. Being with people with which you have good composites. Sun conjunct Jupiter in the composite. Sun conjunct Venus. These people will help you shine bright. Now, you could even stand next to a Leo and soak up some rays. In fact, someday I'm going to stand next to Justin Jedlicka just to see what it feels like. Okay, at this point, you can see how the problems caused by the sun are related to a strong or weak sun, leading to an over or under expression of the self. And how the remedies are often to bolster and encourage the self or self-expression in a healthy way. I know this video will help you with your own chart and those of your clients. There is so much to talk about in one chart, so be thorough and watch the videos for problems and remedies in the rest of the planets. I do personal readings and mentor other astrologers in astrological remediation, so if you want to go beyond these videos, contact me for a personal set of remedies for your chart. See you next time. Get the book Astrological Remediation, a guide for the modern practitioner from Amazon.com. If they are sold out, email me for a PDF copy at agehrz@gmail.com. PDF copies are only $16.95.
It's more than I can handle, it's all that I can take. Your rightful joint just got me sunk to a place no one should be. I can't take the facade, can't let it stay here to infiltrate part of me that knows better.